So right now we have a team full of 50 overall players, but there's something special about these 50 overall players other than them being stick on the ice legends. We're going to rebuild this team right here only through drafting. No free agency is going to be allowed. We're going to be allowed to make trades, but we have to trade our picks or we have to trade the guys we draft for picks. So we can't trade picks or players for more players. We have to trade that only for more picks. So the real question is this team going to be able to win a Stanley Cup in the future only through drafting? Absolutely, because I'm the greatest GM of all time. And you already know I'm going to be building an elite team. Now, if you want to see your name in a future video, either hit the join button down below or hit the first link in the description. But I think enough's been said. Let's simulate year number 1, get the first overall pick. But don't be surprised if we trade the first overall pick, because we're going to get the first overall pick here. We're going to have to make some big moves right off the bat. So I feel like it goes without saying, but the Portland Pirates are going to be finishing dead last in the entire league. 0 wins, 82 losses. No one's surprised at that. We scored 48 goals this season, which isn't really that bad. It's not good, but it's actually more than I was expecting. Now, who scored those goals for our team? That'd be very interesting to know. But we can't look at that. We can't look at goaltending numbers either, I don't think. Yeah, so the Portland Pirates did a whole lot of nothing this season. That's good to know. But at the end of the day, you know what? We're not too worried about the stats of this team. We're not even too worried about who's winning the Stanley Cup. But it is a wildcard team in the Dallas Stars sweeping the number 1 seed New York Rangers. But we're not going to be worried about that. We're focused on the draft. So we're off to the draft, and obviously we're praying to get the first overall pick here. But are we really surprised we dropped to 3? Not whatsoever. Honestly, I would have been more surprised if we actually got the first overall pick, because I'm pretty sure you have a better chance of dropping to 3 than getting the first overall pick. That's what it seems like. So with that incredible disappointment and us dropping from 1 to 3, there's only one thing you guys can do, and that's subscribe to the channel. Are you part of the 60% of people that aren't subbed to the channel? What are you doing? You're watching the content. You clearly enjoy it. You watch me suffering, like dropping from 1 to 3. So you know what? If you don't want this to happen in the future, you have to subscribe to the channel. Now, since there's not a franchise potential player projected number 1, don't be surprised if we trade our pick, because there's one guy that we basically have to get. This guy is going to be the most critical part to this rebuild. And what is his name? Well, his name is Gabriel Degg. Gabriel Degg is not in this draft, is he? Okay, Gabriel Degg is actually in this draft, but hold on. There's this guy, Zachary Morin. Now, I was under the impression this was not a real person. In my last video, I drafted Zachary Morin. He had low franchise potential. I don't know if that's going to be the case again here, but don't be surprised if we complete a couple trades here and try to get Zachary Morin as well. But the first thing we got to do, trade for like the 22nd overall pick or something, because we got to make sure that we get Gabriel Degg here. So here's the deal I'm looking at. The 3rd overall and the 67th overall over to the New Jersey Devils. We get the 21st overall pick, a future first rounder, and the 54th. I'm going to offer that over. They're accepting. Okay, that's actually going to make things very easy for us. We're going to sim over to the 21st overall pick, and then with the 21st overall pick, I think we're going to be bringing Gabriel Degg to the team. The reason I trade for the 21st overall pick is I want to make sure that we're getting guys like Gabriel Degg. But you know what? With the 21st overall pick, Zachary Morin, you're joining the team with low franchise potential. Zachary Morin, I got to get a bit more familiar with you. You have low franchise potential. You must be a star or something. I don't know if this guy got exceptional status or something. I don't know why he has low franchise potential. But yeah, he is definitely one guy we have to look out for in the future. Now, the next thing that we're going to have to do here is trade for the 24th overall pick. So we're going to ship out the 34th and the 100th overall. This should be enough with Minnesota. They're going to be saying no, but I think a 7th round pick might be able to make the difference. So I'll give you the 199th overall. Is that going to be enough? Yes, it is. And then with this pick, we're bringing Gabriel Degg to the team. As long as he doesn't get drafted in the next 2 picks, and it doesn't look like he will be. So Gabriel Degg, welcome to the team. Projected 28th overall, but you know what? You're getting selected 24th. We got our medium league potential goaltender. We got a low franchise potential player and a medium league potential player. We're going to be setting ourselves up for a ton of success here. Now, when it comes to the rest of our picks here, honestly, I'm not really too sure who we're going to be drafting. Like, I want to make sure that with every pick, we're going to be getting a really good prospect, or we're going to have the chance of getting a really good prospect. This guy right here, AHL top 6 potential. This guy right here, AHL top 2D potential. These aren't really the guys I want to be trying to draft. This guy right here, he has very inaccurate scouting, so I don't really want to be wasting a pick here. So I think we're going to be making a trade here and try to get some future assets. Like, if I'm being honest, the first 3 years, it's going to be hard for us to get a lot of great prospects, because we're going to have all the real prospects in the game. And when it comes to the 5th, 6th, and 7th round, we're not getting those auto-generated studs. A lot of those guys don't really show up till year number 4. So until year number 4, we're just going to try to get as many first round picks as possible, like this one from the Boston Bruins. So although we only made 2 picks in this draft, we got 2 amazing players. Zachary Morin, Gabriel Degg, 2 star players for us. That's a great start. And then of course, if we combine them with all the stick on the ice legends, our channel members, we're definitely going to be competing. I don't know who any of these guys are, but all of them are going to be walking. So we're moving into year number 2 here, and you might be a bit confused. Where's Zach Morin? Where's our guy Gabriel Degg? Neither of these guys are going to be in the lineup heading into year number 2. Well, I think for their development, it makes a lot more sense if they're not playing alongside 50 overall players. Like, imagine if I threw Gabriel Degg in between the pipes. There is no way he's going to have good development if he's allowing 7 goals per game. And then Zach Morin, he doesn't have that many elite players to play alongside, so I think we're going to give him another year to develop in juniors. But for right now, this team's definitely headed in the right direction. We got some great pieces here. Of course, a ton of stick on the ice legends. And if you have stick on the ice legends on your team, you definitely can't count them out. So you know what? I think our 50 overall players are going to go on a run this season, and we might even go 82-0. Who knows? Nah, but real talk, the fact that I was able to say all of that stuff with a straight face is actually impressive. Ain't no way this team even averages a goal per game this season. We're going to get absolutely lit up. So unfortunately, Portland's not going to be any better this season. An 0-82 record, only 49 goals once again. I think we were actually worse defensively, so I'm not really too sure how that works. When it comes to scoring though, we actually can look at some numbers here. Beanbot XSP, he's going to be leading the way. Then we're going to have Young Lean coming in second with 14 points. Johnny Graham's going to be coming in third. He's picking up 1 goal but 11 assists, so he's going to be leading the way there. Sean Mentz, 11 points. Eric Francie, he's picking up 11 points. And then we're finishing off with Joe Hendry, 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points. He was looking not too bad this season. And then when it comes to goaltending, you know what? Ricky Lafleur wasn't getting any starts, but Storm Wolf was, and so was Andre Vaseline. But you know what? Neither of these guys were great this season. But are we really surprised this team was bad? Not at all. So we're going to see the New York Rangers winning the Stanley Cup here. But you know what? Really don't care about who wins the Stanley Cup as long as we get the first overall pick, and we are dropping from 1 to 3 again. Am I surprised at that? Absolutely not. Like, as I said, you have a better chance of dropping to 3 than actually getting the first overall pick, and it's wild how often it happens. But you know what? We're going to live with it here. Just don't have a franchise potential player projected number 1, but there will be. Actually, I know for a fact there will be. It's Gavin McKenna, isn't it? Alright, that's a tough one. Not going to lie though, we could actually make a super team here. If we can trade for the first overall pick and bring Gavin McKenna onto the team, that would be huge. But next season, if we can get the first overall pick again, then we can get Landon DuPont. If we can build a team featuring Gavin McKenna, Zach Morin, Landon DuPont, and Gabriel Degg, no, we're winning about 18 million Stanley Cups here. So how about I just do the 3rd overall and the 27th overall, send this over to the Buffalo Sabres. They'll accept this one. Maybe I'll give you a 3rd rounder or something. All I care about is getting the first overall pick because we need to bring in Gavin McKenna here. They're saying no to that. I'll give you a 2nd rounder as well. Here's a 2nd round pick for next season. Just give me Gavin McKenna. Shouldn't be that difficult to get done. So we all know who we're bringing to the team here. I made it incredibly clear. Gavin McKenna, welcome to the team, 78 overall. Yeah, we're building a dynasty here. So with the 16th overall pick we got from the Boston Bruins, we're bringing in Scoville. He's a 66 overall, medium top 6 potential. I think he could be a pretty solid player for us in the future. And then of course, we're going to have the first pick in the 2nd round here. And I think we should be able to get a star. And you know who that star might be? Matt Humphrey. If we can bring you to the team and you have medium league potential and you're a gem, that would be incredible. But you're a 76 overall. So don't be surprised if you make the jump to the NHL next season. You alongside Gavin McKenna, and then we bring Zach Morin up. That could be a decent first line. Now we had 3 more picks in the draft, the 100th overall, the 133rd overall, and the 166th overall. Unfortunately, those 3 picks didn't really get anything notable. Now bringing scouts to the team is where it's going to be most important, but we have to note it's kind of pointless for us to bring NHL scouts to the team and AHL scouts to the team. Since we're not making trades for players, we really don't have to have any scouting done on these guys. We don't need to know what lines they fit on, so we're just focused on WHL, OHL, Quebec, USA, Europe, Nordic, Russia. This is where we're going to be bringing in all of our scouts. So here's what we're looking at: McKenna, Humphrey, and Morin. They're going to be holding it down the first line. The bottom 9 still not looking the best here, but you know, we got stick on the ice legends. It can't really be that bad. Defensively, we're still going to be just rocking stick on the ice legends. But when it comes to goaltending, Gabriel Degg's going to make the jump this season. He's up to a 77 overall. I'm not expecting too much from him, but you know what? I wouldn't mind 1 win this season. Is 1 win going to be possible? I don't think so, but maybe we can lose a game in overtime. Maybe we can force overtime or something. I'm not too sure. But you know what? I'm excited for the future of this team. The Portland Pirates are going to be a dominant force in 5 years, because clearly we're not going to be a dominant force this season. We are going to lose games this season. We are finally going to get the first overall pick, and then we're going to bring in another franchise potential player, and we all know who that's going to be: Landon DuPont. Also, Paul Maurice is the coach now, so shout out to him. Now, this season was historic. I didn't even think it would be possible, but here we are. The Portland Pirates, a 278-2 record. This team really won 2 games this season. I didn't think it would be possible. One of those games even came in regulation. That shouldn't have happened this season. There is no way that this top 3 right here should have been able to lead us to that, but they did. And then when it came to goaltending, Gabriel Dag, you were incredible. Now, I don't even care who won the Stanley Cup here. I mean, I haven't even simulated the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. Who did we beat in regulation, and who did we beat this season? Well, it's clear to see we lost one shootout game to the LA Kings, but who else? Yeah, so we're going to pretend this didn't happen. Nope, Portland didn't win this season. We are just going to completely skip over that one. I can't believe that happened. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, you know what? That might have happened, but it actually did. St. Louis really lost to Portland, a team that basically only has 3 or 4 players. We lost a game in overtime to the Carolina Hurricanes. Who else did we beat? We beat one other team. I'm not really quite sure who that was. The Vegas Golden Knights. But the only team to lose to the Portland Pirates in regulation was the St. Louis Blues. I have no words to explain that. I'm heartbroken. So the Colorado Avalanche, after finishing first in the entire league, they're going to win the Stanley Cup here. But the real question, can the Portland Pirates get the first overall pick? And yes, we are. Landon DuPont, welcome to the team. I don't even have to contemplate who we're going to be drafting. You're the guy who's being brought to the team. This is an absolute no-brainer. Landon DuPont, an absolute superstar. Yeah, we're building a dynasty here. Portland Pirates might turn out to be one of the greatest teams of all time with all the amazing talent we're going to have on this team. Also, shout out to Malkin. He's retiring. That just doesn't feel right. But Landon DuPont, welcome to the team here. I'm not even considering anyone else. 73 overall offensive defenseman, medium franchise potential. We got ourselves a superstar. Now, thankfully, we are going to be getting some more good players in the draft here. A medium top 6 potential sniper, 58 overall. Hopefully, Appleby can develop into a great player for us, but you know what? I have my doubts. I don't know why I would be doubting him, though. Bro has done absolutely nothing wrong. I'm just hating right now. Now, of course, since we don't have an entire team yet, we do have to bring back some of the stick on the ice legends. And honestly, I'm not against that. So I'm going to go ahead, sign all these guys, sign a couple of our unsigned rookies, and then we'll get ready for next season. So the team's slowly taking steps in the right direction. We officially have 4 players in the forward core above 70 overall. So you know what? Things are looking good. We even have an 82 overall Gavin McKenna. Yeah, this team's going to be elite in the future, especially with Landon DuPont leading the defense. 73 overall. I have very low expectations for you this season, but I know you'll live up to the hype in the future. Same with Gabriel Dag. Expectations are low, but in the future, you're going to be elite. So it's another season of tanking. We're not going to be doing too much here. We don't even have assets to sell. So yeah, let's just simulate the entire season. Now, I'm absolutely stunned at what happened this season. The Portland Pirates picked up 9 wins. 7 of those wins came in regulation. We had 23 points this season. But here's the thing that surprised me the most. Gavin McKenna, you're not leading the team in points. Humphrey is. Humphrey led the team in points. 26 goals, 23 uppers for 49 points. 6 more points than Gavin McKenna. And Gavin McKenna only had 1 more point than Zach Morin. What is going on here? This shouldn't be happening. Gavin McKenna, you're supposed to lead the team, but we picked up Matt Humphrey, and bro's been an absolute superstar for us. He's probably going to get elite potential at some point. I never would have expected that. Gabriel Dag, 9 wins, 1 shutout. I need to know who you shut out. And I swear, if you shut out the St. Louis Blues, this video is ending early. I mean, that's not a great start. You guys beat St. Louis in regulation again. Hate to see it, you really do. No, but real talk, who did this team shut out? We better not have shut out the St. Louis Blues. I highly doubt we did, but we shut somebody out. I don't know who it was, but we're going to find out. So it looks like this shutout's coming all the way back in November. We beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 1-0. You guys got shut out to Gabriel Dag, Gavin McKenna, Landon DuPont, Matt Humphrey, and a bunch of 50 overall players. I would be embarrassed. Alright, so I'm very disappointed. Unfortunately, we didn't get the first overall pick. We actually dropped to number 2. The team that got the first overall pick, we're going to pretend didn't happen. Why is it taking so long to load? Yeah, we're going to pretend this didn't happen. St. Louis is an incredible team. There's no way they're getting the first overall pick. So at this point in the draft, it doesn't really matter what we bring to the team. Anything's going to be an upgrade. But I'm looking at Gunnarsson here, and I think Gunnarsson could be a really good player for us. We put him on the top pairing alongside Landon DuPont. Then we have our top 2 guys. I'm really contemplating making a trade here. Like, if I could trade down to the 3rd overall pick and get some other assets as well, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Like, it's basically set in stone who's going number 1. When it comes to number 2, it could be either of these guys right here. But it's pretty safe to say that Gunnarsson's going to be dropping to number 4. So we're going to drop from 2 to 4 here. By making this trade, we should be able to pick up a handful more assets as well. Like, I don't think we can get Ottawa's first round pick for next season, but I'm going to throw it in the deal. They're saying no. What would it actually take to get Ottawa's first round pick for next season, though? Like, if I gave you the 67th overall pick pick. Would you be interested in that? They're saying no. What about 2 third-rounders? Like, if I have to trade 2 third-round picks in order to get an extra first-rounder, it's definitely going to be worth it here. They're saying no. How about you just give me your second-rounder for next season? So I'll pick up your second-rounder for next season. Give me your third-rounder as well. I'm making sure we don't get finessed out here. If I'm going to be dropping 2 spots, I want those 2 picks right there. They're going to be saying no. I'll take the third-rounder out, and it looks like we're finally getting this deal done. Now, Gunnarsson, please be around at the 4th overall pick. I need you here. Bro went number 2. Ain't no way. That is so unfortunate. That is so incredibly unfortunate. I couldn't have predicted that. We're going with this man right here, but ain't no way that just happened. The guy we wanted went number 2 to Ottawa. They knew what we were trying to do, but you know what? It might not be the end of the world because we're getting a gem right here. He's going to be a great defenseman for us. 74 overall. We're going to be bouncing back big time. So although we didn't get that medium league potential defenseman with the 4th overall pick, we're going to secure one with the 100th overall pick. So that's got to mean something. And it looks like we're not done there because we finally got our new backup goaltender. Ray Witt's going to be joined the team at a 47 overall. So he can be our backup to Gabriel Dagg. We finally got our goaltending tandem. But I'm happy to say we're not done with the elite prospects yet. A low elite potential player starting as a 68 overall. He's going to be a good defenseman for us, jumping into the lineup immediately. He's probably going to be playing some second pairing minutes for us. Now, this is the first time that we're actually going to have to give out some extensions here. The first one's going to be going to Gavin McKenna. We have a ton of cap space to work with, but I'm still going to try to save money where I can. So 4.2 for the next 2 is going to be going to Gavin McKenna here. We're moving on to Matt Humphrey. Actually, can we do a long-term deal with you? Like, if we were to do an 8-year deal, what would you be looking for? I'll give you like $2 million. Like, if I give you $2 million for the next 8 years, are you going to be accepting this deal? It'd be huge if you would. We should have did that with Gavin McKenna, shouldn't we? Yeah, we messed up big time there. Should have just gave a long-term deal to Gavin McKenna. Zach Moore, and I'm going to give you that long-term deal. Where are you going to be looking for? We'll do 1.5 for the next 8. So yeah, we're going to finesse the system a little bit. Well worth it. Now, Gabriel Dagg, I would like to do the same thing with you, but I don't think we're going to be able to. So we're just going to do 4.4 for the next 2 years. So you and Gavin McKenna sign basically identical deals. That's just what has to be done. But you know what, Humphrey? You know what, Morin? You guys are the true legends. So the team might be looking a little weak here, but there's one thing I can say. Every single player on the team right now was drafted by me. We're going to ignore the fact that we have some left wingers playing some left defensive minutes. But that's neither here nor there. This team's ready to compete. Yes, we have a 47 overall goaltender, but he has medium league potential, so he's going to be a stud. Gabriel Dagg, 83 overall. He's going to keep on improving. Let's get the 1st overall pick and ideally a franchise potential player. We could use another one of those. Okay, I don't understand this, but we are 4 games into the season and I keep getting hit with all these waiver wire players. I have it set to stars only and I'm still getting hit with all these players right here. None of these guys are stars. I don't even know who Cam Allen is. Can Allen. I don't know what his name was. All I know is, why am I being offered all these players right now? It's not meant for me to see every single player. Stars only. None of these guys are stars. I don't see Connor McDavid being put on waivers. That's who I should be seeing. Stars only, because that's what the setting is. Instead, I am seeing every other player in the league. This is absurd. We are 11 games in. Sean Kuraly, you are clearly not a star. No disrespect to Sean Kuraly, but he is not Connor McDavid. Andrew Basha. In any other situation, I actually probably would bring Andrew Basha to the team. Medium top 6 potential, 79 overall. Andrew Basha, this one actually I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at that waiver offer right there. Every other one though, not too happy with. None of those guys were stars. Now I'm happy to say the Portland Pirates made some massive strides this season. We're clearly still the worst team in the entire league, but a 13, 64, and 5 record is definitely something to be proud of here, especially since we're averaging over 2 goals per game. I didn't think the team would be averaging over 2 goals per game, but you know what? If Gavin McKenna's picking up 66 points, that explains quite a bit. Georgianovic are going to be coming in second with 54 points, including 25 goals, which is going to lead the team. So you've been an elite goal scorer for us. And then when it comes to Gabriel Dagg, 13 wins this season, but 1 shutout. Yeah, bro's holding it down in between the pipes. Once we get a competent defense in front of this man, this team's going to be looking unstoppable. But until then, we're going to continue to get the 1st overall pick. So it looks like Connor McDavid's finally going to be getting his Stanley Cup as the Edmonton Oilers are going to be winning here. But the real winners are going to be who's taking home the 1st overall pick. Not Portland. We're dropping to number 2. Watch there be a franchise potential player. I can almost guarantee it. Like, I swear, if we're going to see a franchise potential player projected number 1, I might lose my mind here. We can't see a franchise potential player. It's not going to be a franchise potential player. And honestly, I actually don't care who we get in this draft. Either 1 or 2 works for me. So who are the Anaheim Ducks going to be selecting here? It looks like they're going to go with Steves. 83 overall sniper. But you know what? We need somebody to play alongside Landon DuPont. And this is the guy we're going to go with. A nice left defenseman. Starting off as an 81 overall. We finally have a number 1 pairing. But then this guy wouldn't be bad either. He's projected around the 14th to 17th overall range, maybe even the 12th overall. So let's see if we can trade for the 10th overall pick. Like, we might just trade a medium league potential player for another medium league potential player. He won't be ready for 3 years, but he's a gem, so you know what? It's worth the risk. So if I throw this medium league potential player and the 37th overall pick into this deal, can I get the 10th overall from the LA Kings? They're saying that's a little bit low, so we're going to get this deal done. I'll throw the 199th overall in, and just like that, we got the 10th overall pick. Like, yes, at this point, we're just swapping medium league potential players, but this guy's a gem, and I really want him on the team. He's only a 63 overall. Let's give him a couple years to develop. It's kind of funny. I'm talking about how I should give this guy a couple years to develop, but I trade a medium league potential player away because I didn't want him to develop. Sometimes it makes no sense. We're also going to be securing another gem in the draft here. He only has low top 9 potential, but that's going to turn to low top 6, so you know what? We'll take it. Now, we are going to get one more great player here, a low league potential offensive defenseman, Shane Sakic. I hope you're going to be a superstar for us. Now, we have a couple extensions to give right now, one of them being to Landon DuPont. Now, of course, I want to do a long-term deal here, but if we can do something like this, I also wouldn't be against it. We're going to do 6.7 for the next 4 years. He'll probably accept on the dot. I guess not. But you know what? That's going to age into a really good deal for us. Alan Scoville, I'd like to do a long-term deal with you. How about 8 years? How about we do 8 years at 1.8 million? Actually, we don't even have to do 1.8 million. We'll do 1.6 for the next 8. So that's an absolute steal. And with these 3 guys right here, we'll just sign them into 2-way contracts. Now, I'm not really too sure why, but I just thought this team would be significantly better heading into next season, but we're not. Gavin McKenna, Trojanovic, you know what? You guys are looking absolutely fantastic. Zach Moore, and I was kind of expecting you to be a bit better at this point. You're only a 77 overall, but you're playing top line minutes, so you know what? You should start progressing pretty quick. The second line isn't awful. Like, these guys are going to keep on getting better, but I just thought the team would be significantly better. I don't know why. Landon DuPont, Stepan, you know what? This is going to be a good first pairing. The second pairing is not looking atrocious here. We're making strides in the right direction. Gabriel Dagg, you're the starter. Schmid, I don't know why you're the backup. Why are you on this team? I take it back. I know why Schmid's on this team, because you only have 3 goaltenders under contract. So Schmid, you're getting sent down to the AHL. Witt, you're coming up to be the backup. This is how things should be. A Gabriel Dagg and Witt tandem, a 59 overall and an 86. Let's go for 15 wins this season. But even that, I feel, is a bit unrealistic. Now, there's certainly a couple things that could be celebrated about this season. The fact that somehow Ottawa was worse than us. Bro, how are you worse than us? We had 25 wins. Okay, I wasn't prepared to tell you guys that we're not the worst team in the entire league. I was going to say the one thing we can celebrate is 25 wins, but Ottawa was really worse than us. Y'all need to relocate. Ain't no way you're worse than the Portland Pirates. We have 60 overall players on the bottom 6. This team is still atrocious. Trojanovic, you're going to be leading the way. He's picking up 69 points, including 30 goals. Gavin McKenna, 21 goals, 46 assists, 67 points. Zach Moore, and he's actually not looking too bad. Is he up to an 80 overall? Of course he isn't, because God forbid that man actually improve. And then when it comes to Gabriel Dagg, he had 3 shutouts this season, 3 shutouts, and even look at Witt, 60 overall Ray Witt, picking up 4 wins this season. No, once this team develops and we get everything together, no one's going to be able to stop us. Until then, though, let's continue to get the first overall pick. So we're going to see the Tampa Bay Lightning taking home the Stanley Cup. But more importantly, who's going to be getting the first overall pick? Of course, it's going to be Portland. We dropped to 4. Why am I not surprised? Also, Ottawa, after finishing dead last in the entire league, not only did you drop from 1 to 3, but you're also getting the 5th overall pick from Washington. So you guys should be a good team in a couple of years. You're definitely one team we're going to be competing with. But what are the odds that now that we've dropped in the draft here, there's going to be a franchise potential player available? I can almost guarantee it. I just feel like this is a franchise potential player draft. I haven't looked at the draft class or anything, so I actually don't really know. But yeah, why am I not surprised? A franchise potential player. But we don't have to worry about it too much. I am not drafting this guy. He's a grinder. We'll bring Nathan Healy to the team though. 76 overall. He'll jump to the lineup immediately. Okay, this is pretty interesting. JC Bowman potentially having high elite potential. That is definitely somebody I would be willing to trade for. So what's it going to take for us to get the 20th overall pick? Like, although we are set in the goaltending department, we probably don't have to give up too much to get this deal done. So if I give you the 35th overall and the 68th, is that enough for the 20th? They're saying it's a little bit low. We're going to get this deal done, then we're going to draft that high elite potential goaltender. So this is going to be an absolute steal for us, as long as he has high elite potential. And he's still available at the 20th overall pick. If he gets drafted before that, I'm going to be upset, but you know what? I don't think that's going to be the case here. Now, please, please, please have high elite potential. That's all I ask for. That's a steal right there. And what if I told you we weren't done there? Now we're bringing in a medium elite potential goaltender. He might not have high elite potential, but you know what? I'll take medium elite. More than likely what we're going to do with that high elite potential goaltender in the future is just trade him away. And are we about to get another medium elite potential goaltender? 3 elite potential goaltenders? No, we're cooking right now. But as I was saying, more than likely what will happen with that high elite potential goaltender is I'll trade him next season for a top 5 pick, and then we'll bring in an elite forward. Or maybe even an elite defenseman. Like, honestly, I just want some elite players on the team. Yeah, medium 70 potential, not what I was trying to draft there. And with the re-sign phase, obviously we didn't have to worry about anything. But now we have to worry about these extensions right here. It's starting with Gavin McKenna. Actually, this isn't bad at all. So we're going to lock him down for basically $9 million for the next 5 years. This is going to be an absolute steal for us. This contract's going to age incredibly well. Trojanovic, of course, we have to give you an extension as well. What are you looking for? Yeah, this is going to be another amazing deal. So I think we'll do $8 million for the next 5 with you. That's incredible. And then when it comes to everyone else, we're going to try to do long-term deals on really cheap contracts. Like Corbin Little here, if we did an 8-year deal, what would you be looking at? $950K. How about we do an 8-year deal at $1.3 million? Like, that's an absolute steal right there. Moving over to Oduya, if we did an 8-year deal, what are you looking for? $1.5 million. How about we do $2 million for the next 8 years? Are you interested in that? How about I give you a bit more? How about we do $2.2 million for the next 8 years? So that's going to keep him around. He's got medium top 4 potential. He's going to turn to a stud. And this defenseman right here, he's going to turn to a stud as well. So we'll give him an 8-year deal. Am I finessing the game right now? Absolutely. But there's nothing wrong with finessing. We'll continue with the deals. Ed Appleby, 1.2 for the next 8 years. Another incredible deal. Everyone else, on the other hand, they're just going to be signed to 2-way contracts. I mean, medium top 6 potential players, they're not going to turn into anything. But you know what? We can't forget about these 2 guys right here. I would never forget about these 2 guys. Gabriel Degg, we're going to start with you. It's going to be $7.4 million for the next 2 years. Not the greatest deal in the world, but you know what? We'll do it. And then when it comes to Ray Witt, I could do an 8-year deal. As long as you're willing to sign something reasonable, you want 7.2. You are bugging. So how about we do $950K for the next 2 years? Bro really asked for $7 million if we did an 8-year deal. He's wildin'. Alright, so we got to start making some big trades here because we have to start making this team significantly better. Gavin McKenna and Trojanovic, you guys are really the only 2 guys I can actually rely on. Like, if I'm being honest, then when it comes to the rest of the forward core, I don't know how much I can rely on these guys. Like, they might turn to good bottom 6 pieces in the future, but right now, this ain't it. Our top defensive pairing, though, that's set for the future. I can rely on both of these guys. And then when it comes to goaltending, of course, I can rely on these 2 guys here. Gabriel Degg, Witt's up to a 70 overall. Gabriel Degg's an 87. But you know what? We just don't have a good team in front of them. So Gabriel Degg, Witt, I'm never going to put any of the blame on you until we have a good team in front of you guys. The second there's a good team in front of you guys, if you don't perform, I'm putting all the blame on you. That's just the way it's going to go here. Alright, we have to have a discussion about the Portland Pirates because there is no reason this team should have been this good this season. We were actually somewhat competitive. Like, yes, we were 4th last in the entire league, a 33-40-9 record, and you might think I'm absolutely crazy when I say this team was actually somewhat competitive. We finished with 75 points. Now, 75 points actually wasn't that far off of a wildcard spot. It was 7 points behind the St. Louis Blues, who finished 21st in the entire league. We were 7 points out of the playoffs. That is absurd. There is no way this team should even be somewhat competitive. We are not good. We are not a good team by any means, but Gavin McKenna was +2. So shout out to Gavin McKenna, what an absolute stud. +2 this season. Gabriel Degg, you were phenomenal. And look at Ray Witt, a 920 and a 273. These numbers don't make any sense, and you know what's going to make even less sense? Us not getting the 1st overall pick. We deserve it. No, but real talk, that was absolutely ridiculous. 7 points out of the postseason. We have 60 overalls on our 4th line, and somehow we were only 7 points away. Watch the St. Louis Blues also win the Stanley Cup this season after finishing 21st in the entire league. Okay, it's the New York Rangers. That makes a lot more sense. But you know what? We were 4th last in the entire league, so we could get a really good pick here. We're going to drop to the 5th overall pick, and honestly, I can live with that. But this is going to be a huge draft for us because we're going to make a ton of trades here. We're going to get some good picks here, and we're going to make some big moves. I don't really care who we draft here, but you know what? I would like to jump to the top 3 and then maybe draft Gustafsson right here. So LA, I'm going to offer you a highly potential goaltender for your 3rd overall pick. I don't think it's going to be enough, but you know what? It's going to be a good start. Because look at this highly potential goaltender. Look at all that trade value. Clearly, it's not even close. Actually, it might be pretty close. I'm going to offer this over. They're saying no. A 2nd rounder actually might make the difference here. Like, we were actually a lot closer than I thought it would be. So here's a 2nd round pick. They're saying no. How about multiple seconds? Like, if I give you our 2nd rounder for 2032, is that going to be enough here? It's a little bit low. So we are going to jump into the top 3. We're going to jump into the top 3. We still have the 5th overall pick. We're off to a good start here. So as I mentioned, with the 3rd overall pick, we're going to go with Gustafsson. He's going to be a good forward for us. He's a gem right now, 78 overall. Now I'm very happy this guy got drafted right here because that means with the 5th overall pick, we're still getting a mediumly potential player. That was the unknown prospect. I was a bit scared. I didn't want to draft the unknown prospect, but it's going to work out for us. We're getting a mediumly potential player, but he is a grinder. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not the biggest fan of grinders. They don't really perform that well. So maybe I'd trade that guy and we drop down a little bit in the draft. Like, I could trade him away and get the 9th overall pick. And the 9th overall pick, we're going to get a guy who's only 1 year away. That's maybe not the end of the world here. So could I trade this mediumly potential player we just drafted and get the 8th overall pick and then get a different mediumly potential player who's not a grinder? I might be able to pick up 2 third rounders in this deal. They're going to be saying no to that. How about 1 third round pick? So we can get 1/3 round pick. We're going to drop back a little bit in the draft here. That's perfectly fine. We're still walking away with medium league potential players, and that's all that matters. So we're going to bring this medium league potential player to the team. He's a two-way forward. I prefer two-way forwards over grinders. Yes, this guy's a bit of a drop off when it comes to overall, but we got the better players, so that's all that matters. What am I looking at right here? A gem, low franchise potential, projected 242nd. So we're going to get a 7th round pick and draft him, and we're also going to trade back to like the 150th overall pick. We're going to make some more trades here. You know what? We're actually not going to trade our pick here. We're going to hold on to the 70th overall. We're just going to go a little bit off the board. We're going to draft this guy right here. Hopefully he has medium league potential, medium top 9. That kind of sucks, not gonna lie. But you know what? We're just taking swings here. We're trying to find these medium league potential players, and that's what we're gonna begin here in the 4th round. That's why we take those risks. So with our 5th round pick, we're gonna draft that goaltender, and then with the 6th round pick, we're gonna draft the guy who might have low franchise potential. There is almost zero chance he actually has low franchise potential, but if he does, that is the biggest steal of all time. Like, bro is projected 250th. There is no way you have franchise potential when you're drafted 250th. There's also this really good player right here, but you know what? We're going with Sedin here. Are you going to have low franchise potential? Low elite. I'm not surprised about that in the slightest, but you know what? If we did get a low franchise potential player, I would have lost my mind. So like usual, all the rookies, they're going to be signed to their entry-level contract. They're going to be jumping into the lineup, or I guess the best ones are jumping into the lineup. If you're not good enough to jump into the lineup, either you'll be moving to the AHL, or you're just going to play in juniors another year. So we only have one really valuable player to re-sign here. That's going to be Stepan. And you know what? I have a feeling he's going to be looking for a very reasonable deal. I was completely wrong. I mean, this isn't the end of the world. We can do 8.4 for the next 3 years. Like, we have $55 million in cap space. We can give him that. And then when it comes to the rest of these guys, you already know what we're doing. I mean, actually, we're going to do something different with this guy right here. Here's an 8-year deal, and I'll give you, I don't know, like 2.3 million. Are you interested in 2.3 million for the next 8 years? I think he wants a little bit more. How about we do 2.4 for the next 8 years? You better turn into a medium league potential defenseman for us. Yeah, and then with all these other guys, it's just two-way deals. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying we're going to be a playoff team, but I do want to point out we now have 80 overalls on the 3rd line. So there is that. When it comes to the defense, we have 2 amazing defensemen. Then we have these guys right here, but you know what? They're going to develop into solid defensemen in the future. Then we have Gabriel Degg, who dropped 2 overalls to an 85. Okay, I'm taking that all back. Yeah, we're not making the playoffs. I was trying to hint at this team making the playoffs because we saw a lot of great progression here. You know what, Nathan Healy? You should probably play on our 1st line. I feel like moving you to the 1st line would make the most sense, but you know what? We need a really good player on the 2nd line. You're going to lead the way there. Yeah, we're not making the postseason. Then again, we only missed by 7 points last season, but I think that was a bit of a fluke. Reality is going to set in this season for not only us, but the entire league. Alright, we don't even have to look at the entire standings for this season. We just need to look at our division. The Portland Pirates were 2 points back of 2nd in the division because that's how bad it was. We finished with 89 points. 2nd in the division, 91 points. We almost made the playoffs with a 40-33-9 record. Yeah, this team's making the postseason next season, no question about it. We're going to have some goal scorers on this team. We're going to have some people absolutely dominating. Yeah, we're ready to take over the league. Nathan Heatley, you're up to an 88 overall. You're going to be a star on that 2nd line. Trojanovic, you know what? You're an 89 overall. Gavin McKinnon, you're 91 overall. We have our superstars on this team. Gabriel Degg, you're one of those superstars. You had a 36-23-7 record this season with 3 shouts, a 910 and 287. Those were your stats with this team in front of you? No, we're ready to dominate. Give us one more medium league potential player and we're taking over the league. So we're going to see the Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup here, but you know what? I think that might be the Portland Pirates next season. I mean, that might be wishful thinking, but you know what? A man can dream here. What pick are we going to begin? We're getting the 15th overall pick. Okay, that's not really ideal. Yeah, we're going to have to make a move, aren't we? We're going to have to find a way to move up in the draft. Now, I have no clue how we're going to jump up in this draft, but we kind of have to. If we want to be guaranteed a medium league potential player, we have to get the 4th overall pick, basically. How are we going to turn the 15th overall pick into the 4th overall? I have no clue, but we're going to do everything in our power to do so. Do I try to go with this medium league potential player right here? How many years before he's ready for the NHL? 3 years, and that's not even accurate scouting on that. I think we just have to go with Shattenkirk here. 2 years before he's ready for the NHL, but we know he's going to have medium top 6 potential. That's the guy we're picking. Xavier Shattenkirk, welcome to the team at 67 overall. Probably not going to be helping us too much next season, but you know what? You're still a good prospect. Now, this certainly isn't a bad pick with the 213th overall, a lowly potential player, but he's starting off as a 61 overall. If we give him a couple years to develop, you never know, he might be on our Stanley Cup team. So like usual, we gave all those rookies their entry-level contract. We're moving over to the extensions, and this is where the money really kicks in. Nathan Healy, you're getting 9.9 for the next 5 years. It's going to be quite the bag for you, but you know what? You deserve it. And for everyone else, it's going to be a two-way, 2-year contract, $950K. That's what everyone's getting here. Well, I guess there is one other guy we should probably sign. His name is Gabriel Dag. Not really too sure if he's any good, but yeah, we probably should keep him on the team. And I think with Gabriel Dag, you know what? We'll just do 8.2 for the next 8 years. That's a pretty good deal for him. And then Witt, you better sign a reasonable deal here. I guess it's just going to be a 1-year deal. If we do 2 years, he's looking for 1.5 million. That's not happening. Bro, you're a 76 overall. Relax. No, I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to get very concerned with this team because I'm not too sure if we can win. Like, I'm going to be honest here. I don't know if this team is actually good enough to win here. Yeah, we have people playing their roles. In the past 2 seasons, we've been very close to making the postseason, but I don't know if it's good enough. I don't think it's good enough here. Granted, I don't think we should have been 2 points out of the postseason last year. So with everyone improving, you never know. Maybe we're going to make the playoffs. Like, if you were to ask me, we're a bottom 5 team. We just continue to exceed expectations every single season, and it makes no sense. But with that being said, Paul Maurice, make the offensive awareness better, make the defensive awareness better. Let's go on a run. No, like, I'm actually sick to my stomach here. We lost 5 of the last 6 games. Those 5 losses cost us the postseason. Like, if we don't lose those 5 games, this team makes the playoffs. I'm not even kidding. We were 4 points back of the Edmonton Oilers, and we would have made the postseason here. This team was that close to making the playoffs, and we choked in the final 6 games. Ain't no way that happened. Gavin McKenna, you were great. Trojanovic, you were great as well, 82 points. Zach Morin, you were looking better this season. You're up to an 82 overall. Low top 9 potential. That's literally the last thing I wanted to see. Healy, you might start playing top line minutes for us. Who knows? Maybe Gustafson will. Gustafson had 43 points. He's an 85 overall. You're probably going to play on the first line next season. Zach Morin, you let me down big time. Gabriel Dag, you were incredible once again here. We were that close. Just a couple more wins and we're in the postseason. So Chicago's going to win the Stanley Cup again, but once again, we're going to run to our problem from last season, and it's the fact that we're not going to get a great draft pick here. We were too competitive to get a good pick. We're getting the 14th overall. We're going to try to jump to the top 5. I might even trade next season's first round pick just so we can get a really good player. Because yeah, I'm not really too sure what we're going to do here. It's actually kind of funny. Our issue now is we're a mid team. We're not terrible, we're just mid, and that's actually costing us Stanley Cups at this point. So we're going to figure out what pick we're going to trade for. I'm thinking probably the 5th overall pick or something. If we trade for pick number 5, we'll be able to get a medium elite potential player. Actually, we might just trade for the 4th overall pick, then we're 100% sure. So yeah, we're trading for the 4th overall pick here. Of course, we're going to trade the 14th overall, but we're also going to trade next season's first round pick as well. Hopefully this is going to be enough for the 4th overall from Pittsburgh. I don't think it will be. Yeah, this deal is going to be incredibly difficult to get done. Here's the 47th overall pick as well. Hopefully they say yes. This deal might be impossible. Like, I guess I could give you a mediumly potential goaltender. I can give you this guy right here. If we do that, Pittsburgh will have too many goaltenders. Just give me somebody who has 0 value. Like, give me this guy right here and I'll cut him next season. But hopefully all of this is going to be enough for the 4th overall pick. It's just a little bit low. At least we're going to be getting a great player here. Like, we are giving up way too many assets here, but you know what? It has to be done. We have to be somewhat competitive next season. We have to make the postseason next year. That's the goal. So we jumped up to the 4th overall pick. We're going to get a mediumly potential player here, and then we're going to go win a Stanley Cup. But I guess here's the question. Do I draft a forward or do I draft a defenseman? Like, when it comes to our forward core, I think that's significantly better than the defense here, but I do think we need some upgrades. I'm going to draft this guy right here, 80 overall. I think this guy right here is going to be the big difference maker for us. Our entire top 6 is going to be consisting of 80 overall players. That might be enough. Yeah, so let's just say after the first round, it was just miss after miss after miss after miss. Yeah, it wasn't looking good for us, but we got that medium league potential player, and that could be the difference maker for us. So when it comes to extensions, there's only one guy we're looking at right now, and that's going to be Shane Sakic. We're going to do a 2-year deal with him. We're looking at probably $2.3 million. 2.3 for Shane Sakic is going to be a pretty good deal, so he's going to be sticking around. And then outside that, we're just going to be running it back with a majority of the same team. I don't know why I said a majority of the same team. It's basically the exact same team, except we're going to be adding this guy to the team. So yeah, we'll see what the team can do. Now this is going to be by far the most expensive offseason we've had because there's 3 elite potential players or higher needing extensions. One of them's Landon DuPont, and he's looking for $12.1 million. Obviously, we're going to give Landon DuPont what he wants, but we're going to try to save some money here. I think we can probably do $11 million for the next 3. So Landon DuPont, here's $11 million for the next 3. He's going to be sticking around. Gustafson's going to be getting his bag. It's going to be 5.1 for the next 3 years. So that's actually not nearly as bad as what I thought it would be. And then Hagelin, you're also getting your deal here. And what are you looking for? 1.9. What if we were to do multiple years? Like, I'll do a 5-year deal at $2.5 million or something. Actually, we'll do a 5-year deal at like $3 million. I guess it's only going to cost us 2.8, but he's going to be sticking around for the next 5. That's an incredible deal for us. And they already know how it works. Everyone else is getting 2-way contracts. So making the postseason is going to be pretty difficult. Although although I do think we have a good enough team to maybe sneak into the wild card, nothing's guaranteed. The defense is still incredibly weak on this team. That's what we have to focus on when it comes to the upcoming draft. In the next draft, we're going to trade for an elite defenseman. We're going to get the draft pick. We're going to do what we have to. Goaltending, that's actually not an issue for this team anymore. It's really only defense. If we could fix up our defense, we'll be able to make it into the postseason. But being a super competitive team, I'm still not too sure if we can do that. Like, it's one thing to sneak into the wild card, it's another thing to win the Stanley Cup, and honestly, I don't think we can do that right now. Okay, I'm just going to point out, this is the first time Paul Maurice has said anything like this. Most of the time, he's like, yeah, the roster on paper, not good whatsoever. We won't even make the playoffs. Now he's talking about making the Stanley Cup final, so maybe this team's better than I think. Of course, we're 5-5 focused this season. Let's make it into the postseason. Nah, this team really just doesn't want me to be happy. Like, every single season, a 39-39-4 record. Now you're thinking there is absolutely no way you were close to a playoff spot, and that's what a normal person would think. We were 4 points back of a wild card spot. Every single season, this team decides, you know what, we're gonna just miss the playoffs. We're gonna miss the playoffs by 1 or 2 points. It happens every single season, and I'm tired of it. Also, what makes this even worse is we were 24th in the entire league, so that first round pick we traded away when I thought we'd be a playoff team, it's gonna have a little bit of value. Now, what are the odds that pick right there jumps into the top 5? And not even just the top 5, I can guarantee you that becomes a top 3 pick. It'll probably become the first overall pick, and I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. But no matter what happens here, we're making a trade, we're getting ourselves into the top 5, and we're getting ourselves an elite defenseman. We need another elite defenseman here. So the New Jersey Devils are gonna win the Stanley Cup, and honestly, it doesn't really matter what happens in the draft lottery because we don't own the first overall pick. We actually don't even own our pick. And is that pick going to turn to the first overall? It doesn't look like it. It's going to be the 10th overall to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I can live with that trade we made then. Since that pick didn't end up being in the top 3, I can live with the trade we made. But with that being said, we still might be making moves here because we need the defense to be better. Now, is there an elite defenseman we can actually bring to the team here? I mean, there technically is, but we have to trade for the 2nd overall pick. So if I'm being completely honest here, we might be taking the draft off. I don't think we can trade up to the 2nd overall pick. I don't think that's going to be possible for us. So we might have to sit this draft out. Now, when I say we're sitting the draft out, that doesn't mean we're not making other picks here. We are going to get this gem in the 2nd round. I just mean we're not going to be moving into the top 5. But even though we're not moving into the top 5, we'll still find some great players here. Now, we did find one lowly potential player with the 109th overall, but unless that guy has some crazy development, I don't think he's going to be playing for us. So thankfully, we are going to be getting at least one medium league potential player. And are you really surprised it's a goaltender? Why would I not be drafting a medium league potential goaltender? And I guess we're going to finish it off here with one more gem. Ironically, we actually are getting a defenseman here, a low league potential defenseman who's an enforcer. Basically the most useless thing for me. So similar to last season, we've got some medium league potential players that need to be signed. Step in, you're going to be the first one here, and we're looking at $9.9 million for the next 3. You're one of the best defensemen on this team. Obviously, we have to keep you around here. Then we have this medium league potential player. Can we do a multi-year deal with you? Yes, we can. Okay. So we're going to save a bit of money here. We'll do 5 years at what? 2.7 million? 5 years at 2.7 million, so that's going to be a good deal for us. I'm slowly starting to lose a bit of faith with this team. I'm not going to lie. Things aren't looking great for us. Shane Sakic, you haven't really turned to that superstar I thought you would, but here's 2.1 for the next 2 years. I'm getting concerned. I'm not even going to lie about it. Now, I'm going to be honest. I never thought we would reach this point, but not only do we have all 80 overalls on our forward core, but somehow looking at the defense, we only have one guy who's not an 80 overall. The only issue we have here is all the defensemen we have terrible line fits. So yeah, that's not going to be helping us here. But you know what? The team is moving in the right direction. Can we somehow sneak into the postseason? I think we might be able to. This is by far the best team we've ever had. Last season, we were what, 5 points shy of the postseason? This team's definitely good enough to pick up an additional 5 points, but I need you guys to be elite the entire season. No faults whatsoever. We can't go on any 6-game losing streaks. The worst we can basically do here is a 3-game losing streak. Anything worse than that, we're probably not making the postseason. And for some reason, Paul Maurice once again believes we can somehow make the Stanley Cup final. I don't know why he's thinking that. We don't have a chance of making the Stanley Cup final, but you know what? I like the enthusiasm. Okay, just to make this a bit quicker, we're not looking at stats for this team. We're not looking at our record. Clearly, we missed the playoffs, and we missed by the most points in a long time. We missed by over 10. Yeah, we were not good. This team was just looking atrocious this season, but that might not be the worst thing in the world. We actually needed a really bad season like this because we still own our first round pick. So hypothetically, we get a top 5 pick. We get an elite defenseman with that top 5 pick. Our first round pick for next season will probably have quite a bit of value because we were bad this season. We'll package that up with a couple prospects. We'll get another top 5 pick, and then we'll win a Stanley Cup. This has been the exact same plan I've had for basically the past 4 years or so now, and it's never worked any of those years. so why would it be any different now? But I think we're about to enter year number 12, and we still haven't even made the postseason. Yeah, things have not been going well for us right now. But the New York Islanders are going to be Stanley Cup champions. The real question is, what pick are we going to get? Like, we're in desperate need of the first overall pick or something. Give me a franchise potential player. It looks like we're going to get the 8th overall pick, and I can work with the 8th overall pick. I mean, I can work with the 8th overall pick as long as there's good prospects available. If this is a really bad draft class, then we could be in trouble. But please, 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 give me some elite defensemen. I just need some elite defensemen in this draft. Like, I need either a franchise potential player or an elite defenseman, and I don't see very many elite potential defensemen here other than the guy who's going to go 1st overall. And then the guy who's going to go 4th overall, we don't have scouting for, and that would be a very risky pick. Oh boy, this draft is cooked. High top 9. Yikes. So maybe we do try to trade for the 1st overall pick. Even though we're only going to get somebody with medium elite potential, at least we're getting a good player here. Okay, I take that back. There is not a chance we get the 1st overall pick. Like, in no world are we even going to be able to trade for it. So we're going to simulate the 1st pick. 80 overall defensive defenseman. I would have loved that. But I'm starting to think we might have to play risky. We might have to trade for the 4th overall pick. Although I don't know the scouting on that guy, I think we're going to have to. We're going to sim the 3rd pick. Hopefully he doesn't get drafted there. He doesn't. Okay, this is incredibly risky. We don't know what we're going to be getting here with this pick, but we have to do it. Also, I want to point out how Gavin McKenna and Len DuPont no longer have franchise potential. Nothing has gone right so far. But we'll package up the 8th overall pick. We'll trade a future 2nd rounder away. Can I get the 4th overall pick here? Is this going to be enough to jump up? They're saying no. We have a lot of prospects on this team, so maybe I can trade one of them. Like, I can give you this guy right here. We haven't even signed him, so I'm going to send this over to Carolina. They're saying no. How about multiple 2nd round picks? If we do multiple 2nd rounders, is this going to be enough? Please say this is enough. Yes, it is. So we're going to get at least one defenseman here. Now, is this defenseman going to have medium elite potential? We are praying for an absolute miracle here. 65 overall. High top 4. We gave up all of that for a high top 4. Yeah, this team's never going to win. Well, we've already made one terrible decision here. Let's make another terrible decision. I will trade this pick, this pick, this pick, this pick, and this pick. We're going to ship all of them over to Utah. Okay, maybe we don't have to give up that much. I'll trade you a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, and a 5th rounder. Give me the 43rd overall. Now, with the 43rd overall, we are praying for an absolute miracle. A bigger miracle than what we just saw. Inaccurate scouting, high elite potential. This isn't going to work out for us. Yeah, that was a big waste of time. I'm simulating the rest of the draft. I'm that upset. Okay, we have to figure out a plan for this team, because clearly things aren't working for us. And to make things even worse, Paul Maurice retired on us. Portland's never going to see a Stanley Cup. Okay, we have to have a big discussion with this team. Gavin McKenna, obviously I'm going to keep you around. 13.7 million, you're staying on this team. Trojanovic, of course, you're going to stay on this team as well. You're one of the most important pieces. I'll do 9.7 for 1 year, I guess. I'm honestly not really worried about the salary cap situation. We have more than enough money. We'll sign this medium elite potential player, but we do have to have the discussion. And what discussion am I talking about? Do we trade one of our medium elite potential forwards away during the draft to try to get a medium elite potential defenseman? Because as of late, I've kind of been hoarding our medium elite potential forwards because I don't want to trade any of them away. But I think if we want to be competitive in the future, we are going to have to trade some of these guys. Also, we actually probably should start paying a little bit more attention at the salary cap situation. We actually don't have as much space as I thought we did. We only have $9.5 million left, so we might have to chill a little bit. Okay, I'm not lying this time when I actually think this team might be able to make the postseason. Like, we have good forward depth here. Yeah, the defense is bad, but at least we have better line fits here. And having better line fits is going to mean quite a bit. The goaltending situation is also better on this team. We're rocking 286s. Somebody get us into the postseason. Just get us into the postseason. Let's perform when it matters most. We have to make the postseason at least once here. We're in the year 2035 and we're yet to make the postseason once. There was a couple times when we were really close, but we didn't make it in. And here we are basically 12, 13 years in. I've completely lost track. All I know is this team continues to be a massive disappointment. For some reason, the coaches continue to believe that we're going to make the postseason here. Not even the postseason, but win a Stanley Cup. I don't know what you're talking about. This team's not winning a Stanley Cup. But please get us into the playoffs. That's all I want. Now, the boys have prayed for times like this. After years and years of constant disappointment, we finally did it. We finally made the postseason. 11th in the entire league. A 40, 29, and 13 record. Showed to the overtime losses. Only reason we made the postseason here. We're actually a really good defensive team. I do want to point that out. We're actually one of the best defensive teams in the entire league. We have the 4th best defense. We're just not scoring goals. But you know what? In the postseason, defense matters the most. We have Gavin McKenna leading the way, 7 79 points. Gustafson's going to be coming in second. He's got 71 points. Then we got Trojanovic. He's picking up 70 points here. He's got 29 goals. We got scoring throughout the entire lineup here. Goaltending's looking incredible, but all that matters is we step up in the big time moments. The big time moments start right now. We have the Anaheim Ducks first. It's Portland versus Anaheim. This is going to be a great matchup, but there is one thing we have to double check, and I want to make sure Gabriel Degg's getting the start. Gabriel Degg, you've been the starter the entire season here. That doesn't mean you're guaranteed to start in the postseason. It looks like you will be, though. Like, both these guys are 86 overalls. I didn't know which one the CPU was going to run. I want to make sure Gabriel Degg's getting the start here. Now, this is the first time we've seen any postseason action. So far against the Anaheim Ducks, we've actually been very good against them. Like, as you can see in our final 3 games, we beat them twice, and it looks like we can continue that winning streak against the Anaheim Ducks. We're winning 2 straight games. Can we make it 3 straight games? The Anaheim Ducks really can't compete with us. Are we sweeping the Ducks? Unfortunately, it's not going to be a sweep, but we will take them on a gentleman's sweep. A nice 5-game series, and the boys are off to the second round. Portland might actually be legit now. Now, obviously, we can't get ahead of ourselves here, but you know what? Things are going right for us in the postseason. Only one number 1 seed made it to the second round. We have number 3 taking on number 4, being the Portland Pirates taking on the Minnesota Wild. Then we're going to have the number 4 New York Rangers taking on the 3-seeded Montreal Canadiens. Then the 4-seeded Boston Bruins taking on the 3-seeded Columbus Blue Jackets. If we can win this matchup right here, we have a good chance at winning a Stanley Cup. There's been a ridiculous amount of upsets so far, and probably none of them should have happened. We're winning game number 1 here. We have to win game 2. That's going to be a big one. Are we about to sweep? The Portland Pirates really swept the Minnesota Wild. We're in the conference finals. How are we doing this? We've made to the conference finals. We have the Chicago Blackhawks up next. Ain't no way. Oh yeah, we're not beating Chicago. Look at those matchup numbers. 4.33 goals per game. The best in the entire league. Goals against, 2.56. Best in the entire league. Their power play, 6th best in the postseason. I guess I should mention all these numbers are for the postseason. So they have the 6th best power play percentage in the postseason, the 2nd best penalty kill, and they have an elite goaltender. Nah, we're cooked. But you know what? We shouldn't have made it to the conference finals, so now that we're here, we might as well just keep on winning. The Portland Pirates are looking to do something incredible. Are we going to sweep Chicago? Okay, I thought we were going to sweep Chicago there, but it's best of 3 moving on here. We have to win game number 5, and that's what we're doing. Close out in game 6, and we've made to the Stanley Cup final. It all comes down to one game. One game to decide who goes to the Stanley Cup final. If we can win this one right here, we have a real shot at Stanley Cup. Portland doesn't deserve to be here, but you know what? I drafted this team. I built this team from the ground up. We deserve it more than anyone, and in the third period, when it matters most, we picked up 5 goals. How are we doing this? Paul Maurice, have you really been holding this team back that much? How are we doing this? Like, I wish I could say this is a fake video. If I was faking all this, it would make a lot more sense, but I'm not. We have somehow made to the Stanley Cup final and our first postseason appearance to take on the Columbus Blue Jackets, another 3rd seed. This makes no sense. There is no way the Portland Pirates should be here right now, but somehow we are. We're just going to keep on rolling. We're going to win this Stanley Cup. We're not stopping here. I need 4 wins from Portland, 4 wins in the Stanley Cup final. We're going to keep on winning here. Do we have a 3-1 series lead? Yes, we do. We have a 3-1 series lead right now. Why can I not go back? Yes, we have a 3-1 series lead. We have to win one more game here. Portland wins one more game and they're Stanley Cup champions. Don't blow a 3-1 series lead. Don't do that to me. We did it. The Portland Pirates Stanley Cup champions. A team I drafted myself. We probably could have won 4 years ago. All I had to do was fire Paul Maurice. We won in our first season without Paul Maurice. This makes no sense. I don't know who led the way here. Trojanovic, you're that guy. If you made it to the end of the video, comment Trojanovic. 13 goals, 15 assists, 28 points. Bro was incredible. Gustafson was incredible. I was contemplating trading one of these star forwards. I didn't have to. We stepped up in the big time moments. Gabriel Degg, 16 wins, a 913 to 271. How did we just do this? How did the Portland Pirates just win a Stanley Cup? A team who didn't make any free agent signings or traded for any players. I drafted every single player for this team and we just won a Stanley Cup. A 40, 29, and 13 record and we won a Stanley Cup. You know what? I'm going to take it. We did the impossible.